Hey, welcome to the Usable Marketing Podcast. And today I want to talk about the story of how I wasn't a marketer until I was, right? So I was not a marketer until I was a marketer. And to kind of tell you about this, I want to tell you about how did I actually become a marketer, right? So basically what happened was, and the reason I'm saying this, by the way, is that I actually believe anyone can be a marketer, which is why I think it's really important for you to hear this story, because my trajectory was not headed to marketing originally, until I started kind of getting an idea that, hey, this looks cool, but nothing in my education or anything pointed to marketing. So I went to Notre Dame, go Irish, undergrad, and studied humanities. Philosophy, theology, literature, mathematics, politics, stuff like that. Super awesome. Can't say enough about it. So then I was like, oh, I'm going to be an academic, right? So then I went to NYU to further study. I was studying literature and critical theory, which I can barely even define what critical theory means anymore, but I studied it hard at NYU. And while I was at NYU, I had to get a job. And I got a job as a receptionist at a small media company that sold syndicated television to countries, to cities around the country. And I got a job as a receptionist because I thought, well, if all I'm doing is really answering the phone, Action Media, may I help you? Which I would actually do that at home because I got used to answering so much. I thought I'd have time to study, which I didn't. But so receptionist at a media company. Then from receptionist, I became office assistant to sales assistant to research assistant. And then I moved back to my hometown of San Antonio. TV was really the only thing I knew how to do any sort of job with. So I got a job again as a sales assistant. And then miraculously, about a year and a half later, parlayed that sales assistant into a research director job, which is a whole other hilarious story I will tell you about sometime. How I basically kind of, I don't know what it would be called, but I kind of faked my way into a research job. But research was awesome. I learned so much. I mean, I was so curious, right, to understand how does this work? How does the combination of households that can receive television and which ones have on and what channel they're tuned to make up a rating? And then if you start studying the demographics, how can we figure out which type of people want to watch this show, et cetera, et cetera. I started getting really interested and some of the interesting things that I started to figure out as I was like, well, wait a minute. If these patterns are true, then couldn't we just replicate the pattern to be successful with another TV show, right? And so I started thinking oh my God, we're not necessarily connecting the research to the marketing that we're doing. So I started having marketing recommendations, right? This was before evidence-based marketing. So this was kind of a big deal. And I started to make it known that hey, I should be able to give marketing recommendations. I want to sit at the big table because I didn't go to the department head meetings at that point. I was like, you need to have me in the department head meetings because I've got interesting information to contribute because I'm looking at all this research that says we should be doing this. It's not exactly what we're doing. So long story short, an opportunity came up and I had been kind of letting my general manager know. An opportunity came up when the existing marketing director vacated his position to go do something else. And then I was like, I should be in charge of marketing because I know all of this demographic stuff, right? It wasn't that I was qualified to do actual marketing, but I had ideas. I was like, I should do this marketing. I was kind of like, this should be me. And so the president and general manager of the station at that time gave me the job. And what was really important, the reason I'm also talking about this is it is Thank You Thursday. So Don Perry, I'm talking to you. You gave me my big break in marketing. But, what he explained to me even at that time was that when he kind of told his superiors at, corporate that he was going to put, Ginger into this. Hey, no bark. Sorry about that. Crazy dog. Benito, no bark. When he told me he was going to put me in this huge job, or when he told them he wanted to put me in this job, they did not necessarily think it was a great idea. So, hey, no bark. That's my dog training. I have something else that I can actually use. Check this out. It's a water bottle. If I point this at them, he sees it right now. He'll calm right down. So anyway, he was taking a chance when he gave me the opportunity. He, they said, that doesn't seem like it's a really good fit. What are the qualifications? But he's like, I think she's the one. He gave me the opportunity. And he let me know, you better get this, because, my own kind of reputation is on the line. And so I was very motivated to do well. And I was also super lucky that when I went into the position, there was such a good creative team in place already. Let me tell you a little bit about what is the marketing department at a television station. The marketing department as a television station is like the graphic artists, the writers, producers, videographers, editors that create all of the promos and stuff that try to get you to watch more TV. We also did all of the media planning when we would buy additional advertising on radio, billboards, and other places to promote our TV shows. I was also responsible for public relations for the station and also for community relations, right? So it's a pretty big job, none of which I had done. I had had my book in the numbers. Like back then, the Nielsen ratings literally used to be a book until they digitized it. And so I would kind of be looking at the book, but I had all this, like, I know if we take this and use this to get this, to do this in marketing, we'll have more success. And so I was super lucky that when I moved into the team, there was a great number 2, Greg Durkowski, thank you to, who was a creative genius, knew about all that stuff. And we kind of I made an agreement. I said, listen, I know this isn't normal, but I'll teach you strategy if you teach me creative. And now, by the way, he is a huge, amazing strategist, amazing guy. But that was kind of the arrangement that we made. And that was how I went from not being a marketer to being a marketer. So what is the takeaway for you about this? What is usable? Well, I want you to see 4 things that prepared me, right? So number 1 is I did a lot of research. Before stepping into the role, I studied. I kind of understood, like, what is it that makes this thing succeed, right? So I looked at it deeply. So curiosity and kind of inquiry is critically important. Number 2, I started acting the part. I started saying, hey, if this is true, which it is because it's here backed by research, then if we did this in marketing, we could probably get this result. So I started acting a little bit more like a marketer. Number 3, I asked for the job, right? Like I was like, this needs to be me. You need to let me have this job. Hugely important. I wouldn't have gotten the job. No way had I not asked for the job. And then number 4, I got help, right? When I went into the position, I looked at who was there and I said, listen, I need you to help me be successful in this role so that I can help you be successful in your roles. And so that was hugely important. So it's Thank You Thursday. Thank you, Don Perry. Thank you, Greg Durkowski from my San Antonio days. Super, super awesome. So here is the action that I want you to take today, right? So who are you thankful for? You thank them publicly. I don't know if Don or Greg listen to this podcast or are going to see this on our Facebook or YouTube channels, but I thank them, and I hope they do see it. But thank somebody publicly, even if it doesn't matter if they're going to see it or not. And so if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, why don't you just go down into the comments and thank you, like, thank you to so-and-so who got me this break. And because trust me, where you are was with the help of others, always. That's always the way it was. Number 2, if you want to be a marketer and don't consider yourself marketer, like you need to be able to say, I am a marketer. If you want to be a marketer, start doing some of the research that you would need to kind of understand your market a little bit better. By the way, one of the things I would recommend is you can learn just a ton of practical knowledge. Shoot, I don't have the book here with me. A ton of practical knowledge if you do the One Funnel Away challenge, right? Like, so why don't you do the One Funnel Away challenge with me, and you'll actually get like so much step-by-step information on just the fundamentals of marketing. I mean, even aside from doing the challenge, just the training offered in the challenge is, I think, incredible. So if that's something that you're interested in, click the link in the show notes or in the comments and do that challenge with me. It's $120 once you factor in the shipping and handling, but you get this big box and your workbook and all of this stuff, and it'll teach you a ton. So that's it for today. I will. I will see you tomorrow.